How's it going, everyone? And welcome to BryceBits, where you can get a little bit of wisdom. My name is Bryce Newberger. I'm a pastoral counselor, or a pastoral mentor with Side-by-Side Counseling, based here in Arizona. Let's dive on in. So this question today asks, am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my cousin's wedding after she flirted with my husband? Seems like a problem. Seems like something you shouldn't do. It's a wedding, though. That's weird. Hey everyone, I need some advice. I, 33 female, am having a really hard time with my family situation, and I just don't know if I'm doing the right thing. Go to therapy, not Reddit. That's my approach. But you can still put it on Reddit. So I've been married to my husband, 35 male, for 5 years. He's seriously the best, like my absolute rock, loyal, loving, honest, all the good stuff. A few months ago, sounds like you have nothing to worry about then. A few months ago, we were at a family gathering and my cousin, Emma, 28 female, was there. Growing up, Emma and I were super close, almost like sisters. But something happened that day that I just can't shake, okay? Later that night, my husband told me that Emma had been really inappropriate with him. Like she was flirting hard, touching his arm, complimenting him way too much. And at one point, she even asked him if he'd ever thought about them together. Ooh, not good. Don't do that. No. I was in shock. Yeah, yep, you should be. He immediately shut her down. Good man. But told me because he didn't want there to be any secrets between us. Yes. Yes, do this. This is the right thing to do. He is all the good stuff. And I believe him 100%. He's never given me any reason not to. Yeah, it's weird when you tell your significant other someone flirted with you and then they would act worried. I don't have that problem with my current wife, but... So the next day I confronted Emma about it and she totally blew it off. She said I was overreacting and that she was just joking around. Sounds like she was fishing, but I know my husband and I know when something is off. He wouldn't lie to me about this. And honestly, the way she acted has really shaken me. Since then, I've kept my distance from her, but it hasn't been easy with family events and all. Was she drinking? Like, that's not an excuse, but it's good data. It's good data. Was she drinking? Now, here's the issue. Emma's getting married in a few weeks, and my whole family is so excited. She sent out invites, and of course, I got one, but I don't want to go. I can't pretend like everything's fine and sit there watching her get married when she totally disrespected my marriage. My husband says she's fine with whatever I decide, but I can tell he feels weird about the idea of going too. You should go and flirt with her. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. All right, so... here's where it gets complicated. My family doesn't know the full story, and they've been putting up a ton of pressure on me to go. My mom keeps saying things like, it's one day, don't make it a big deal, or it's family, we have to stick together. Some of my other relatives have been dropping hints that if I don't go, it's going to cause a lot of tension. But honestly, why should I have to sit there and fake a smile when I feel my cousin betrayed me? Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. It's a really fair point. I know weddings are a big deal, and I really don't want to cause drama, but at the same time, I feel like I need to stick to my principles here. It's not like I'm trying to punish her. I don't think I should be forced to go just to keep the peace. Yeah, and if I'm being honest, I don't think anyone cares. I know they're making a big deal about it, but it's her day, it's her wedding, it's about her. You don't need to be there, right? And I feel like the drama that's being caused around you going, not going, would just propagate by you going now. Like, it's just going to be weird. Just don't go. So am I the a-hole for refusing to go to my cousin's wedding after she hit on my husband? Or am I being too dramatic about the whole thing? Should I just suck it up and go for the sake of family harmony? I'm really torn. I would love to know what you guys think. Okay, so here's what I think. Sounds like your husband is really healthy. He responded to that the right way. It's weird that she flirted with your husband. That's not okay. That's really weird. I would not want to go if it was my shoes, right? Like if my wife's cousin was hitting on me in an inappropriate way to the point where I felt I needed to say something, right? Because what I mean by to the point I need to say something is sometimes there can be a comment and someone could just be nice, like, "Oh, you're so handsome." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." Like my grandmother would say that, right? Like you can just be nice. Like I tell young adults sometimes, like, "You're looking sharp," or "Oh, you're looking so pretty today," right? It's not so like, but to touch the arm and "Have you ever thought about us together?" That's a weird thing to say. Now, if your husband's such a great guy and your cousin was in a state where she was regretting not being in a long-term relationship or grieving the fact that she was looking for a relationship. Let's say she'd been heavily drinking and was just not in a good place mentally, emotionally, and she was just talking out of her drunken stupor. That's worth forgiving. You kind of confronted her on it. She sold it off as nothing. You didn't believe her. I think there's some more data there. Like, was there drinking involved? What was her mental state? All of that. Definitely, she misbehaved. Like, she totally misbehaved. But do you want this relationship to always be broken, or do you want to fix it? I would recommend fixing it after the relationship. Or, I mean, after when she gets divorced, then fix it. No, I would recommend fixing it after the wedding. Let her have her wedding. Let her have her day. Just peace out. Don't go. Follow up later when you're ready to fix the relationship. My goal for people is for them to be able to repair any relationship that's repairable. There are some relationships that need to be avoided for a time and maybe repaired further down the line in the future if they're abusive or toxic or just not good. It's like, well, let's restrict that relationship for a little bit and let's revisit this in the future. This seems like a situation where that would be the case. Let's restrict your access to this relationship and let's revisit in the future. Family putting pressure on you, you decide, here's the graceful thing. Here's what Grace would say. You would turn the other cheek. You would bear that burden for the sake of your cousin. And it's not fair. That's how grace works. That's what grace is. It's not justice. It's not mercy. It's grace, right? So grace is beyond mercy. It is grace is mercy is letting someone get off the hook. Grace is paying the price for them, right? So just let me clarify. That's like the Christian perspective. So Grace would say, let people talk, let them have their drama, whatever, and just be like, hey, we're not going to go. It's the right thing for your marriage. It's the right thing for you. Keeping it a secret would be the right thing for your cousin. But if that's a price you can't pay, then out it. She's the one who misbehaved. So, you can either tell family it's none of their business, or if they really keep pushing, you could open it up and say, she flirted with my husband, blah, blah, blah. I would really avoid that at all costs. I would encourage you to pay that price for her. I think it's going to be better in the long run and just tell people to mind their own business. But you are the only one who can make the decision on what price you're willing to pay. And I would love to support you, right? If you're like, hey, I can't carry that cross. I can't turn that cheek. I can't pay that price. I'd be like, okay, well, then let me, let's work together and get you in a healthy place and help you advocate for yourself and set healthy boundaries and communicate. That's all very important. So this issue is not just the wedding, right? It's not just about the wedding. It's about the relationship. And when is the right time to repair this relationship? Can it even be repaired, right? Your cousin might not be interested in repairing the relationship, and move on, right? Like restrict your access to that relationship and keep it in a safe and healthy place away from you and your husband. But it sounds like your husband's a great guy. He sounds awesome. What he did was perfect. I think a lot of women will drool over having a man like that. And so I think you should expect other people who know him and experience his character to maybe act that way around him. It just sounds like he's like a handsome, hunky, amazing dude. I mean, it's really about the way he's acting. The way he's acting and his respect for you is very sexy. And I think other women will find that sexy. So just, brace yourself that he might be flirted with, but in a few other situations. Sounds like a great guy. Sounds like you got a real keeper there. So I'm happy for you. And it sounds like your head's on your shoulders pretty well too. I think you've got the right idea here, and you should listen to yourself on this one. And the only encouragement I give you is just follow up later. Follow up later and see if you can fix that relationship with openness, honesty. Like, just say, hey, like, this happened. It was not okay. This is why we skipped it. You really hurt me. Give her another chance to apologize, right? And if she won't, then keep restricting the relationship. Maybe someday it'll be fixed. Some relationships just can't be fixed. That's okay. That happens. Let's read some of the comments here. Let's see what we're getting ourselves into. So wait, if she's getting married, that means she was engaged when she hit on your husband. I would tell her fiance about the whole thing. He deserves to know before he marries her. It doesn't necessarily mean that they were engaged. We don't have necessarily a time frame here for all of this. So we don't know. Also, yeah, I mean, he would deserve to know if she was engaged. If she was engaged in doing this, like, yeah, that would be important intel to make sure the husband had, one way or the other. Yeah, it's not about causing drama. It's about being honest. Yeah, to agree. I could get on board with some of that. Not the a-hole. If you don't want to go and your husband doesn't want to go, don't go. It's that simple. Yeah, very simple. Well, it's not always simple. Like, I think you want to respect this person's family drama. Not to say that we should encourage them to go, but don't call it simple, because Like that makes it, that almost calls them, it can feel like when I'm asking for advice from people and someone's like, oh, it's simple. I'm like, oh, I guess I didn't know what was simple. It's not always simple when you're in it as well. Family drama is tough. There's no need to cause drama, but if you get along well with your mom, I just explain why you don't want to go as well. It's fair. It's a fair point. Keep things bottled up so as not to rock, to not rock the bottom. I think they confused rock bottom with rock the boat. Seldom works. Keeping things bottled up as to not rock the boat seldom works. Yes and no. Yes and no. Not everyone has a right to your story. So what happened was between you, your husband, and your cousin, and potentially her husband, her fiance, future husband. So it didn't happen to your mom. It didn't happen to your aunts, your uncles. It didn't happen to everyone else in the world. So not everyone has a right to that story. So it's not necessarily keeping it bottled up. It's just not broadcasting information that doesn't necessarily need to be everywhere. All right. Tell your cousin you will not be attending her wedding and tell her why. Okay. Yeah, I think that's fair. When she objects, tell her that if there's further pressure from her or any of her family members, Op will be obligated to tell cousin's fiance that cousin is hitting on Op's husband while engaged fiance. I don't like that. And here's why. I like elements of this. Tell your cousin you will not be attending the wedding and tell her why. Communication, openness, honesty, being genuine, all good things. When she objects, tell her that if there's further pressure from her or any of her family members, Op will be obligated to tell the cousin's fiance that cousin was hitting on Op's husband while engaged fiance. No, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's blackmail. If you need to tell the fiance, you should tell the fiance, right? And like I said, it depends on if they were actually engaged at the time or not. But if you need to tell the fiance, then you need to tell the fiance what's right, and that's right. Don't blackmail someone. And so I would say, tell her you're not attending, tell her why, and tell her it's not up for discussion, right? Just that is that. Now, if she gives like the most sincerest, on her knees, heartfelt apology, that's different, right? Then she says, hey, I'm so sorry. I was drunk. I didn't know what I was doing. Please forgive me. It would mean the world if you were there. You guys have been such an inspiration to me. I was attracted to your husband's, amazing relationship with you, and we hope to have a similar relationship, right? That's a beautiful apology. That's worth going, right? And it's still up to you on whether you want to go or not. But this is not good. This is not good. Don't blackmail someone. Right. Nobody needs to know. Only those who need to know, right? So people either need to know or they don't. It's not a blackmail situation. And your cousin flirting with your husband is a huge boundary violation. Heck yeah. Yep. Yes, it is. Yep. Amen. Why should you go to her wedding and pretend everything's fine when she disrespected marriage? I can get on board with that. You're just avoiding an awkward situation. That's also correct. Stick to your decision. I agree. Amen. And enjoy a nice day at home instead. Yes. Preach. No need to celebrate someone who crossed the line. That's also true. Yeah, I think that's all good. I think the one thing it lacks is just follow up later. Like you don't want her to be dead to you forever, or maybe you do. But I would encourage you to try and repair that relationship later. It doesn't need to happen now. Down the road, try to fix it. Right. I did like the take though. Tell her you're not going. Tell her why. Give her the opportunity to apologize one last time, but don't demand it. Don't ask for it. Don't expect it. You already did it once. She already gave you a lame excuse once. See if it comes naturally. If it does, that might inform your decisions. If it doesn't, that also informs your decisions. But I think you're on the right track. Just don't go. Stay away for now. Stay home. Follow up later, though. I do encourage you, try to fix this relationship later. Guys, if you have difficult family dynamics, if you've been in awkward situations with cousins and husbands and all sorts of stuff like that, relationship and life gets messy for everyone. If you want to talk about some of that stuff, you can schedule a free 15-minute consultation with me at sidebyside.az.com, and we can see if we're a good fit to do some work together. If not, I've got no problem, referring you off to someone else, someone more qualified. Either way, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.